any of you guys ever think about renting an RV and hitting the open road for an adventure? Well, then we got a fun article for you today. It's titled 14 Things You Can't Legally Do in an RV Anymore, but everyone still does. At number 1 on the list is parking overnight at rest stops. While many RVers assume highway rest areas are fair game for overnight parking, that's not true in every state. According to the Federal Highway Administration, states like North Carolina, Virginia, and Maryland prohibit sleeping at rest stops beyond a short break. Still, countless RVers doze off for the night in these areas without consequence. Enforcement varies wildly depending on location and time of day. Most drivers bank on the assumption that a few hours of quiet sleep won't attract attention. In reality, signage may forbid extended stays entirely. Local authorities can issue tickets or ask RVers to move, especially if rest stops are busy. The legality changes at state lines, but the behavior remains common. At number 2 on today's list is dumping gray water on the ground. Disposing of gray water, used sink and shower water, directly onto the ground is illegal in most states. Even if it looks harmless, the EPA classifies gray water as wastewater that may contain soap, grease, food particles, and chemicals, which can contaminate soil and waterways. Despite this, some RVers still dump gray tanks in remote or rural areas to avoid full dump station. It's easy, but it's not lawful. Fines for this practice can be steep if caught, especially in national parks or BLM land. Still, enforcement is difficult unless someone is reported or a ranger spots it happening. With increasing scrutiny of environmental impact, officials are cracking down more often. Even so, the gray area of gray water remains a widely ignored rule. At number 3 on the list is towing without a special endorsement. Some RVers tow an extra vehicle or trailer without realizing that certain setups require special licenses or endorsements. As noted by WaySafe, states like California and New York have weight limits that trigger commercial or special class license requirements when exceeded. Many RVers don't weigh their rigs and simply hit the road assuming their regular license covers it. That's not always the case, and ignorance isn't a defense. If you are involved in an accident or pulled over for a safety check, lack of proper licensing can lead to fines or insurance issues. Enforcement isn't consistent, but the legal requirement is real. Some states also require brake systems or specific safety equipment when towing. It's one of those regulations most drivers overlook until there's a problem. At number 4 on today's list is camping for free on private land. While boondocking is a popular way to avoid campground fees, parking on private land without explicit permission is considered trespassing. RV.com notes that rural areas often attract stealth campers who assume nobody will notice or care. Technically, this violates property laws, even if the land appears unused or unmarked. Still, many RVers take the risk, especially for one-night stops. Some landowners are lenient, while others may call law enforcement. Citations or forced removal are common responses when campers are discovered. Even when no confrontation happens, it remains a legal gray zone many travelers quietly exploit. Responsible RVers always try to ask first, but not everyone does. At number 5 on today's list is running generators late at night. Quiet hours are enforced in most campgrounds and public lands, typically starting around 10 p.m. Running a generator past those hours isn't just frowned upon, it's often against park policy or local ordinances. Yet plenty of RVers push their luck, especially when temperatures spike or batteries are running low. The low hum of a generator can disturb other campers and wildlife alike. Camp hosts and rangers may issue warnings, but not all sites enforce the rule consistently. Some boondockers assume isolation gives them a free pass. Others generally forget or think they're being discreet. Regardless, late night generators use is technically banned in many places. At number 6 on today's list is exceeding stay limits on public land. National forests, BLM land, and other public zones often have stay limits, usually 14 days, designed to prevent long-term squatting. However, it's common for RVers to overstay their welcome, especially in remote areas with little oversight. Some simply move their RV a short distance, thinking that's enough to reset the clock. Officially, it isn't. Rangers may ticket repeat offenders or mark tires to track movement. Still, enforcement varies by region and available staff. Many RVers rely on the assumption that there's no one checking, but extended stays can draw scrutiny if land is heavily trafficked. At number 7 on today's list is flushing tanks directly into storm drains. It's illegal in every state to dump black or gray water into storm drains, which flow directly into rivers, lakes, or oceans. Still, some RVers do it, especially when they can't find a designated dump station. The practice is highly unsanitary and dangerous for local ecosystems. Despite the risk, the anonymity of urban parking encourages some to take shortcuts. This kind of dumping is often captured on security cameras or noticed by nearby residents. Fines and citations can be severe, and it may even constitute a criminal offense. Environmental agencies are increasing patrols in urban areas. Even seasoned travelers sometimes admit they've made this mistake once, though few will do it again. At number 8 on today's list is camping in store parking lots without permission. Walmart, Cracker Barrel, and Cabela's are popular overnight stops, but parking overnight without manager approval is against store policy. Many RVers assume that a wide open lot equals permission, especially if they've done it elsewhere before, but rules vary by location and some cities have passed ordinances banning overnight stays in commercial lots. Security or local police may ask you to leave and in some cases issue a citation. Despite this, countless travelers roll in after dark and leave early, banking on not being noticed. It's a gamble most people take without issue, but it's still technically not allowed. At number 9 on today's list is riding in a towed trailer. In many states, riding inside a towed RV or travel trailer while it's moving is illegal. It's a serious safety concern, especially in accidents. Still, some RVers do it on short rural drives or when switching drivers. They often justify it with phrases like, "just this once," or "we'll go slow." Laws vary by state, but in most, only fifth-wheel trailers equipped with communication systems are legal for passengers. Enforcement is rare unless there's an incident. Regardless, the risk is high and the legal consequences can be serious. It remains one of the riskiest and most quietly ignored laws on the road. At number 10 on today's list is letting pets roam unrestrained. Campground rules and national park guidelines usually require pets to be leashed or confined at all times. Still, many RVers allow dogs to roam or play off-leash when no one seems to be watching. It may seem harmless, especially in open spaces, but it's still a violation of the rules. Fines, warnings, or even bans from certain parks can result. Unrestrained pets can also disturb wildlife or other campers. In high traffic areas, rangers may be more likely to enforce the rule. Most travelers understand the risk but take their chances when they think it's safe. Even well-behaved pets are supposed to follow the same guidelines. At number 11 on today's list is using natural hot springs as bathtubs. RVers love soaking in natural hot springs, but washing up with soap or shampoo in them is illegal in most states. These springs are protected water sources, and contaminants from personal hygiene products can damage fragile ecosystems. Still, some people use them for rinsing off or even full baths. It's an unspoken practice that park rangers frequently warn against. Even biodegradable soap doesn't break down instantly in natural water. Fines or citations may be issued if someone's caught, especially in monitored hot spring areas. Though some RVers believe it's harmless, authorities treat it as pollution. Expect stricter enforcement in the years ahead. At number 12 on today's list is dumping trash in park fire rings. Using fire rings to dispose of garbage is not only illegal but also dangerous and disrespectful. Still, some RVers leave cans, wrappers, and food waste behind, assuming the next fire will burn it all away. In reality, these items don't always combust completely and can release toxic fumes. Park rangers and hosts constantly clean up after these violations. Burned trash also attracts animals, including bears in some regions. Fines are issued when campers are caught, especially in heavily visited areas, yet it remains one of the most common and careless campground offenses. Education efforts are increasing, but behavior has been slow to change. At number 13 on today's list is ignoring local fire bans. During wildfire season, many areas issue strict fire bans, including for grills and propane fire pits. But some RVers light up anyway, citing windless nights or just a quick meal. Breaking a fire ban is a serious offense that can result in large fines or even criminal charges. Still, the rule is routinely ignored when no one is watching. Campground staff often rely on neighbors to report violations. One accidental flare-up can have devastating consequences for public land. Officials are stepping up patrols and using drones in some areas to spot unauthorized fires. The risks are high, but many still treat it as a low-stakes gamble. And finally, at number 14 on today's list is camping outside designated areas in national parks. Every national park has specific areas for RV camping, but that doesn't stop people from parking in overflow lots, scenic pullouts, or remote trailheads overnight. These spots are often clearly marked no overnight parking, yet many ignore the signs if they arrive late or are in desperate need of a place to sleep. Rangers typically patrol these areas early in the morning, issuing warnings or fines. Even so, it's a habit that has become ingrained in the RV community. With national park attendance at record highs, unauthorized camping is creating a strain on fragile environments. It also raises safety concerns for both travelers and wildlife. As rules get stricter and enforcement increases, this common workaround may soon carry harsher consequences. But for now, many RVers continue to treat no camping as a suggestion, not a rule. Alright, there you see it. 14 things you can't legally do in an RV anymore, but everyone still does. I want you guys to get in that comment section and admit, have you guys done any of these things? Let me know in the comment section. It'll be our little secret. Of course, if you enjoy today's video, please take a second to hit that like button. Smash that big thumbs up like button and consider subscribing to the channel. When you subscribe to the channel and ring that notification bell, you'll be notified every time a new video drops. We like to put out about 2 to 3 videos a day, sometimes even more, so there's always something fun for you to watch and listen to. I thank you for watching this one to the very end. I'm Brian Kingsbury. We'll talk to you on the next one. Bye.